Hi, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's Mary, and I'm here with this week's edition of 90 Days and 900 Seconds the Other Way, Season 5, Episode 10, In Laws and Order. If I was going to give this episode a grade, I would give it a solid B+, and that is for Armando letting his freak flag fly. We're going to get into this more later, but let me set 900 seconds on the timer and let's hop right in. Now, guys, I just wanted to share my thoughts with you on Shekinah while I'm setting my timer here. I'm going to start off with Shekinah and Sarper. Okay. Now, Shekinah, she really wants to be a good relationship role model for her daughter. Her daughter, Sophie, is 15. Yes, her daughter, Sophie, is 15, and she's in boarding school. And she comes home every 5 weeks. And Shekinah, we start off, and she is packing to go to Turkey, and she is talking to her sister. Now, her and her sister are pretty close in age, but they butt heads a lot on a lot of things. Now, her sister has concerns. Her sister's concerns are warranted about Sarper, though. Okay, she saw some text messages where Shekinah is confronting Sarper about not wanting to publicize on social media publicly that he's in a relationship with Shekinah. Because we all know Sarper is the social media playboy. He has women DMing him constantly. And he doesn't necessarily want this to change right now, in my opinion. Okay. Otherwise, why wouldn't he change his status to in a relationship and post pictures of Shekinah and claim Shekinah as his woman? But right now, his relationship status is single. He's still collecting the DMs, still collecting the pictures in his DMs, I'm sure. And when Shekinah gets to Turkey, they'll deal with it. He tells Shekinah things like, I'm the alpha male. You're going to listen to me. I'm not, dealing with it. And that's it. Shekinah's sister doesn't like this attitude. I mean, I don't like this attitude either. And she's telling Shekinah, this is all a big red flag. And you should really think about this before you pick up your whole life and move to Turkey to this guy. I mean, let's face it, she barely knows him. But Shekinah, and this is what, really bothers me. She wants to be a good relationship role model for her daughter. So she thinks by showing her, hey, I'm going to fly off, move to another country for this man that I don't really know. There's already red flags, in my opinion, there. But hey, this is a good decision. Shekinah, let me ask you a question. In 10 years from now, if your daughter came to you and said she was doing the same thing, would you wholeheartedly support her, or would you tie her up and lock her in a closet until she changed her mind? Let me know what you think, Shekinah. Just asking as a mother. Just asking. So now Sophie is taking her mother to the airport, and it turns out that Sophie overheard the conversation between her mom and her aunt. And now Sophie doesn't like Sarper. This whole alpha male bullshit. No, this doesn't sit right with Sophie. Actually, it makes her want to puke. Okay. So she's like, Mom, I don't know. I don't have the same feelings about Sarper now. This whole alpha male thing, which, by the way, she kind of thinks this is just his way of throwing a temper tantrum. And she thinks it's so cute when he says things like this. Listen to me. I'm in charge. I'm the alpha male. You're going to do what I say. Oh, it's just him throwing a temper tantrum. He's so cute. But thank goodness, Shekinah's sister has booked her own trip to Turkey a week after Shekinah, arrives there so she could feel out the situation. And Shekinah's like, listen, you're going to report back that everything's okay. And she's like, no, I'm going to feel out the situation. And if I think everything's okay, I will report back everything's okay. So Shekinah says goodbye to her daughter. Her daughter is wishing her the best, but basically expecting the worst. And we shall see what happens. But Shekinah, for someone that wants to be a good relationship role model for your daughter, I'm sorry, in my opinion, you're not doing it. Just saying. Now, let's move on to Kim and TJ. I feel so bad for TJ. He is really stuck in the middle. Okay. And honestly, I don't think that TJ could do anything different because he really tries to stick up for Kimberly. He tries to, tell his brother, stop being an asshole. But Kimberly is unique. Okay. She is her own special type of animal. And I don't mean it offensively. Okay. She is in a country that has totally different culture, value systems than we do. And she is just over there expecting everyone to conform to her. And, I get Kimberly, Kim, darling Kim, in case you're listening to me, you moved to India. You needed to do your research, okay? If you wanted to have your traditional, where you live with your husband alone, without living with his family, without, the whole family thing that they do in India, then you and TJ should have looked into getting married in America, doing the 90-day fiance visa the other way, okay? And having him come here. I'm sorry, because Kim, that you are not meant to be living with your in-laws. You are not meant to live with TJ's brother. This shit is a bomb waiting to explode, and the cow out front is going to get the impact of the explosion and be blown back 20 feet. The cow in front of TJ's house is going to be the collateral damage of the bomb that is going to go off in that house, okay? And Kim knows that she does not have the personality to live with her in-laws. There are people that just can't do it. So why are you going to move to a country where this is the custom? I was explaining this to my husband last night. My husband had no idea that this is the way things are in India. He was like, how long do they live together? How long do you live with your in-laws? And I'm like, forever. I'm like, this is just the way things are there. They do not know any other way. And my husband was like, oh, interesting. I'm like, Brian, they just don't know any other way. This is what they know. Just like we get married, we move out of our parents' house, we start our own families. This is what they know. And my husband was like, whoa, okay. He didn't know this until I explained it to him. Kim, you are marrying somebody from that culture, and you are moving to that country. You didn't do, and you lived there, and you lived there for a whole year or 13 months or whatever it was. And you didn't know that, listen, the type of person that I am, the personality that I have, this is not going to work for me. Maybe I should really sit back and think about this, because now poor TJ is a collateral damage of all this. He is stuck in the middle between Kim and his family, and it's the morning after the fallout, okay? And Kim is leaving to a hotel anyway, because it's a few days before the wedding, and you're not supposed to see your groom. The days leading up to the wedding, okay? Except for wedding festivities or whatever. So she's leaving to a hotel. It couldn't be better timing. She wants to get the fuck out of there. But before she leaves, TJ is hoping there could be one last ditch effort of Yash and Kim making up. Mm-mm. 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 I needed a drink for this one. Kim was not having it. Yash, of course, was being an asshole. And poor TJ is stuck in the middle, as usual. And Kim says Yash doesn't want her there and he could fuck off. So Kim goes to the hotel to meet her dad and her stepmom. And she's emotional because it's, a couple of days before her wedding and she should be excited and happy. And she's not. She's excited and happy to marry TJ because she loves TJ. And like she says, they have no issues. But like her dad and like I say, oh, yes, you do, honey. Yes, you do. But she doesn't want to marry his family. She sees her stepmom and her dad. Her stepmom is like, oh, honey, how was your week? And she doesn't answer. She practically collapses crying in her stepmom's arms. Then they go out shopping for wedding attire. Stepmom and dad are looking really dapper in like the traditional wedding attire. And then that's when she chooses to tell them what's really going on. And dad points out that, yes, this is a huge problem, Kim, okay? If you have this many problems with his family before you're getting married, and this is a culture where you live with your in-laws until basically they die, and then your children take care of you, okay? And then their spouses take care of you, okay? So, Kim, this is a problem. We need to figure this out. We could buy a ticket. You could come back with us. And she starts crying. Family group hug. And we shall see what happens next week. But, Kim, for someone that lived in India before you accepted the proposal, you lived there for quite a bit. You should have known what you were getting yourself into with the in-laws. Just saying. Now, moving on. Wayne and Holly. I don't know what the... Okay. Wayne takes Holly out to dinner to break the news that he's broke. Takes her out to this fancy dinner, sits her down, and says, honey, I know you have given up everything for me, but I have to come clean. Long pause, and you see Holly's soul literally leave her body. I swear, I would have jumped across the table. Long pause. I'm broke. And he explains he lost 2 major clients. His business profit is half what it was when they first met. And yeah, he's broke. I mean, he's not broke to the point that he can't provide for her, but it'll be paycheck to paycheck. Nothing wrong with living paycheck to paycheck. But Holly, who has grown up financially struggling, she grew up poor as fuck. She doesn't want to live paycheck to paycheck. She wants to make sure that she's with a man that financially provides for her, that's financially stable. And if Wayne is so bad with money now, what makes her think that Wayne is going to be financially responsible in their marriage? Good point, Holly. Just saying. Now, what I don't understand is Wayne has a plumbing business. He said that he lost 2 major clients. Okay. I don't understand why he can't gain another client, go out there, hustle, gain some more clients. Is his work that shoddy? Does he have that bad of a reputation? I just don't get it. But Wayne's business is going down the tubes. He has a business loan that he's behind payments on, by the way. Yes, he chose to wait to tell Holly during that fancy dinner that he probably can't afford to pay anyway, to tell her about a business loan that he's behind payments on. So not only is his business not making money, but he's in debt. Okay. Yeah. So Holly is like, whoa, what am I going to do? This concerns me. Not only did he not communicate this shit to me this whole time, and now I'm down here getting ready to marry him, but is this any indication of what his financial future is going to look like? How he's going to handle money in the future? I don't know. I don't know, Holly. We shall see. Okay. So now, moving on, we have Kenny and Armando. And this was the best part of the episode, in my opinion. So Armando's mom is going home. She's taking Hannah with her for 3 weeks. Hannah visits her grandmom for the summer. And now it's time for her dads to go out and play. Kenny wants to show Armando all of the best things that Mexico City has to offer, including gay clubs. Okay. In Mexico City, Kenny and Armando could go on date nights and go to gay clubs and be who they are and not have to hide. Okay. So Armando has never been to a gay club. And Armando's like, okay, this is interesting. So they're sitting there. Armando's like, I think I need a drink. Armando's the shy one, okay? Kenny's like, woohoo. Kenny's all into it. You know, Kenny is all into the club scene. They're sitting there, they're having a drink, and then comes out a cop. And you know what's going to happen next, okay? He starts stripping down. Armando is sitting there looking so uncomfortable at first, but you know, internally, Armando was loving it. Armando was eating that officer up with his eyes. The officer stripped down to his little G-string, and before you knew it, he was frisking Kenny. He was all up, giving Kenny a lap dance, and Kenny's loving it. Kenny's like, woohoo, yeah, baby, frisk me, baby. And then it's Armando's turn. And for someone that didn't know what he was doing, Kenny was damn right. Armando knew what he was doing. Armando smacked that ass. Armando was like, yeah. Okay. So Armando broke out of his shell. I loved every second of it. I think they need to do more scenes like this. Armando breaking out of his shell, showing the fun, playful side of himself, because Armando's the serious one out of the two. And I love seeing the fun, playful side of Armando. So that's it for them. And I don't have much to say about them. I mean, they were in the gay club having a good time. Danielle and Yohan, on the other hand. Okay. So Yohan hired a translator. And Danielle at first thought that Yohan was going to propose to have a threesome with her. Don't even ask where the fuck she gets these ideas from. Okay. So Yohan decides that hiring a translator is a really good idea, because he thinks that because Danielle doesn't understand Spanish very well, that there's a miscommunication with everything, okay? With the baby, you know, when they're going to have a baby, all this other stuff. So Giselle, the translator, and a long line of 90-day translators following in the footsteps of Adam, the translator, and Amy, the translator. Now we have Giselle, the translator, okay? She sits down and attempts to be the voice of reason between Yohan and Danielle. So she's translating for them. And Yohan basically wants to know, can we try naturally for a few more months before we try to go the fertility route? And Danielle's like trying to conceive naturally for me is torture. Okay, I'm willing to do it, but every month that goes by where my breasts are tender or I'm a little emotional, and you ask me, oh, are you pregnant? Are you pregnant? And I take a pregnancy test and I'm not. It makes me feel more like a failure. So Yohan is like, I understand that. They're in agreement. They're going to try for a few more months before they decide to go the fertility doctor route. Then Yohan wanted to communicate with her, with Giselle's help, about the whole parenting skills style conversation. He feels really insulted. He feels like Danielle thinks, that he wouldn't be able to take care of a baby and that he's a shitty parent. But Danielle communicated that in all her years that she was a teacher, that she sees things. And it's not that she doesn't think that him and his family are wonderful parents, and the way that they raise children are wonderful. But as a teacher, she sees it from a different perspective. And Danielle and Yohan were able to come to an understanding with the help of a translator, which that should tell you that this relationship has deeper issues than having a baby and parenting skills that they need to work on. Okay? First, communication, language. If you cannot communicate efficiently with your partner in one language, whether it be Spanish or English, I think that should be the first issue you should work on. Then all these other issues, because having a child with your partner that you cannot communicate efficiently with without a translator, okay, I think that may be the first step. And then working on the foundation of your marriage. Then let's talk about these kids that Yohan is dying for. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Thank you so much for watching me. Please subscribe if you don't already. Please check out wordonthestreetreality.com for all the tea you know you need. And I interviewed Molly Hopkins' ex-fiance, Stephen. If you haven't checked out that interview, please do. It's really interesting how Molly's stuffed figs have a hold on these men. She has Kelly crying on The Last Resort, and then you got to check out the interview with this guy. He was the one that she dumped to go on The Last Resort, to go on Single Life for Kelly. Check it out if you haven't already. Thank you so much, guys. See you next time. Bye.